In the ever-turning wheel of hip-hop, where stars ascend like meteors only to crash in spectacular flames, J. Cole has always played the long game. I mean, we've all tried to box him in, label him the conscious underdog, the reluctant celebrity, the punchline king who shies from taking his shot at the hip-hop throne. But now, after years of whispers and teases, brother Jermaine is trying to flip the script with The Fall Off, his 7th studio album, dropping February 6, 2026, right on Black History Month.
I never expected it.
Man, this announcement hit like a thunderclap, and Cole doubled down with a cinematic trailer and the lead single, Disc 2, Track 2, where he literally rewinds his life from death back to birth. And this project is already showing it would go crazy, because one thing that really stood out to me in the visuals of the Disc 2, Track 2 video was the opening message to fans. It framed the entire project and spoke directly to the process behind creating the album as a whole. At the start of the Disc 2, Track 2 video, J. Cole opens with a statement saying, "For the past 10 years, this album has been handcrafted with one intention, a personal challenge to myself to create my best work. To do on my last what I was unable to do on my first. I had no way of knowing how much time, focus, and energy it would eventually take to achieve this. But despite the countless challenges along the way, I knew in my heart I would one day get to the finish line. I owed it first and foremost to myself, and secondly, I owed it to hip-hop." It's already sparking debates across the culture. If you're as hyped about Cole flipping the narrative around his place and legacy in hip-hop, stay locked in. We're unpacking the layers, the subtle shots, and why this could be his most introspective release yet. Now pause real quick before we jump deep into all this madness. If you're new around here, do me a solid. Smash that like button. Drop a sub if you ain't locked in yet. And hit that notification bell so you never sleep on these raw, real convos I be dropping. All right. Now let's get straight back into the business. The Fall Off stands as J. Cole's 7th studio album, a long-anticipated chapter that follows the off-season, which was dropped in May 2021, and Might Delete Later, which he gave us in April 2024 during the Great War of the Big Three.
Motherfucker, Big Three, nigga, it should pick me, nigga, fuck.
Yeah, I know how that turned out. But unlike a typical release, this forthcoming project by Cole has been years in the making, slowly unfolding in real time alongside Cole's career and personal evolution. Now, in the closing track of KOD, 1985 carried the subtitle Intro to the Fall Off, and this immediately sparked the speculation that Cole was already laying the groundwork for what would come next. Just 6 days after KOD dropped, Cole confirmed those theories with a tweet. The Fall Off was not just an idea, it was in progress. This means that 1985 was intentionally made to set the main idea and introduce what was coming next, framing the album as a continuation instead of a fresh start. A month later, in a May 2018 interview with Angie Martinez on Power 105, Cole revealed that his December 2016 singles, False Prophets and Everybody Dies, were originally conceived for the Fall Off. This hinted that the project's roots stretched even deeper than fans realized. At the time, he suggested a 2019 release window. That date came and went, and it marked the first of many delays in an album that would become defined by patience and process. However, Cole reignited excitement of fans on November 1st, 2019, during his headlining performance at the inaugural Day in Vegas Music Festival, announcing that the Fall Off would arrive in 2020. The reveal came packaged as a satirical campaign-style rollout, but momentum stalled as the COVID-19 pandemic swept across the globe in early 2020, forcing the album into indefinite postponement.
No, not again, please.
That is not all, though, because in July 2020, Cole offered a rare window into his mindset with an essay titled The Audacity, published in the Players Tribune. Reflecting on pivotal moments in his life and the internal pressure to fulfill his purpose, he directly connected those experiences to the album's conception. According to Cole, the seeds for the Fall Off were planted. The next day, he announced the project's first two singles, The Climb Back and Lion King on Ice, while clarifying that the album itself was still unfinished. The tracks were initially released under the two-track Lewis Street project, but The Climb Back would later be dropped on the off-season. By December 29, 2020, Cole once again stoked the anticipation of fans by sharing a handwritten timeline he labeled the Fall Off Era. The roadmap traced his journey through past milestones, such as his legendary feature run and Revenge of the Dreamers 3, before pointing forward to the off-season, then It's a Boy, and finally, the closing statement, the Fall Off. When the off-season arrived in May 2021, it became clear the plan was still unfolding exactly as he envisioned, just at his own pace. And that long journey would reach its long-awaited destination on January 14, 2026, when Cole unveiled a cinematic trailer across his social platforms by officially announcing the Fall Off's release date, February 6, 2026. The symbolism of 2/6/26 was also cool because it was a subtle salute to 2/6, the nickname for Cumberland County, North Carolina, home to Fayetteville and the foundation of Cole's story.
Fair 926, Dreamville.
Just when we thought it wouldn't get crazier, only hours later, Cole delivered one more surprise by dropping the music video for Disc 2, Track 2, an early glimpse into the album's reflective conceptual core. This only shows that after nearly a decade of build-up, the Fall Off was no longer a promise or a placeholder. It was finally arriving, fully formed, exactly when J. Cole was ready to tell its story. In this track, J. Cole narrates his life entirely in reverse, starting at death and ending at birth. The record plays like a rewound autobiography, peeling back each layer of his existence as it moves backward through fame, relationships, fatherhood, insecurity, ambition, and finally his origins. By inverting the timeline, Cole deliberately shrinks the meaning of achievement and status, revealing how fragile they are when stripped of time and context. What remains isn't the applause or the accolades, but the human core beneath them. The music video deepens this idea through form as much as imagery. Every motion, frame unfolds in reverse to reinforce the sense that time itself is being undone. Even subtle visual cues, like a wall clock ticking backward at the exact moment Cole says,
See it in reverse.
This suggests intention and control, as if Cole is momentarily stepping outside of time to audit his own life. The effect is less about spectacle and more about reflection, forcing the viewer to experience the song the same way Cole does, backward, slower, and more deliberate. Structurally, the track also feels like a conscious homage to Nas' 2001 storytelling classic, Rewind, which also famously adopted the reverse storytelling technique. And given Cole's long and complicated relationship with Nas, this is not a coincidence. Because early in Cole's career, Nas publicly criticized his 2011 single, Work Out, for leaning too far into pop sensibilities, a moment that later inspired Cole's confessional response on Let Nas Down. Framed through that history, this song's ambitious reverse structure reads as more than a technical exercise. It feels like a quiet acknowledgement of Nas' influence, and perhaps Cole's way of proving to both himself and his mentor that he has grown into the level of artistry he once feared he fell short of. As the Fall Off edges closer, possibly unfolding as a double-disc meditation on death, decline, and rebirth, Cole isn't just dropping music, he's pressing on hip-hop's pressure points. He's forcing the culture to ask uncomfortable questions again. Is this a swan song? A calculated retirement fake-out? Or the moment he sheds skin and steps into something new? The reception of the album by fans and time will tell. However, the real constant with J. Cole is that you can love him, question him, argue his rankings, dissect his bars, but you can't erase him. His fingerprints are all over the culture. The fall is inevitable for every artist. What matters is what comes after. And if history tells us anything, Cole understands that rise is just as important as the descent. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think the fall off is the end or a rebirth? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you're rocking with the breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives like this, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, and let's keep the conversation going. Peace.